if you're coming from the US, you'll look at it and say that it's a poor country. But the people are like so nice, humble, so welcoming. They very, very helpful. And you may have people coming up to you on the beach trying to sell you things, but they're not pushy. I've been to other countries at vacation, and I'll just give an example. Like in Jamaica, they're going to make you buy something in Jamaica. When they see you come from the US or from a different country, they're gonna be pushy, and you're gonna buy something. They're not like that at Belize. They'll come and try to sell their items to you, but they're not pushy. They don't get offended. They're not going to get mad. They're not going to make you buy something. When you say, no, thank you. I'm not interested. They're like, okay. But so I like that because I feel like I can enjoy myself and enjoy my vacation. If I want to buy something, I'll buy it. But if I don't want to buy anything right now, I'm not feeling pressure to buy anything, like someone just like pushing and trying to make you do something. They are not like that at all. So needless to say, I love Belize. Love it, love it, love it. We did a few different excursions. So our first day pretty much was a travel day because we got there, by the time we got there, the sun was setting, it was late. Everybody was tired. I think we went and ate some dinner and then called it a night. The next day, we did have an excursion. Nobody really knew what we were doing. We were just getting up at the time that our travel itinerary told us that we needed to get up for the cab. And we were just like, okay, put on swimsuits and whatever swimwear we had. And we were off in the cab and going to the excursion. So the first excursion that we did, it was really, really freaking nice. And we talked and we were like, if we would have known what we were going to do, like, we probably wouldn't have done it. I don't know, because I'm a little daredevil. I'm an ER nurse at heart. So I'm a daredevil, adrenaline junkie. And so I'm like, let's go, let's do it. So the very first excursion, we had to take a cab, and then we had to take the water ferry to Caye Caulker. So it wasn't a long water ferry. It was like just 30 minutes. So we went over to Caye Caulker and we met our guys over there. And we went basically swimming with some sharks and some stingrays. Yeah. So the sharks, they're not like your typical traditional huge sharks that are like trying to eat humans. They did not, they didn't bite. They weren't harmful. They were small, they weren't like huge sharks. And so it wasn't terrible. So they kind of toured us around, giving us the history of Belize. And then they took us to an area so we can feed these huge fish. They were like I swear, like 3 to 4 feet. I forgot the name of the fish that they said, but we were able to, they gave us some bait to feed them. Like they jumped out of the water to get the bait. And so that was really cool. It was a really cool experience, and that we had with each other. So then we went to the area to swim with the sharks and the stingrays. So like as we're driving up to the area and approaching, like the water was like crystal clear. Certain parts of the water in Belize, like, some of it will be a little murky, but for the most part, like the water was crystal clear, like crystal clear. So we saw the sharks like kind of coming. They were like up on the boat, and we were like, oh my God, like what in the world? So I can swim. So the water was they said about 3 feet. May look tall. I don't know. I'm just sitting down, but I'm only 5 feet. So about to get in the water, and then I see all the sharks, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like freaking out. I'm like, literally, they're under my feet, and I started freaking out. So I got myself together and finally jumped in the water, and it was it was fun and kind of creepy because like the shark would just like swimming all up on you through your legs, touching you, and it was like, oh my God. And the water was, kind of, it was pretty, it was moving, so I ended up giving me a life vest because the current was kind of strong. So even though I can swim, I was like, I don't want to take no chances because I'm freaked out. And so mentally I'm like, when you're anxious and freaked out and scared, that's when people drown. Like literally, they can probably stand up in the water, but just the thought that they are drowning, because they're freaking out. So I put on a life vest, and for the most part, all of us except for one person got into the water, and a lot of the women that went like couldn't swim, and some of them had fears like had near drowning experiences as kids, and so they avoided water, didn't get in water, and they were like scared to death, literally, of drowning, and they got in the water. And so it was a really, really cool experience to do it with each other and like to help them like overcome their fears. So it was really nice. It was really cool. Like, yeah, it was amazing. After my anxiety kind of calmed down, it was cool. We touched the sharks and we touched the stingrays, and we had on our snorkeling gear, so the goggles and the mouthpiece, and so we can look down and like literally look at the sharks like swimming around us and through us and close to us. And so it was a really cool experience. If you're there, and you have the opportunity to do that, like, do it. And so the name of that excursion was the Local Reef Half Day 3-Stop Snorkeling Tour. Local Reef Half Day 3-Stop Snorkeling tour. And it was like it was really cool. So that's the second stop, right? So we went to swim with the sharks and the stingrays. Then they took us over to an area where it wasn't 3 feet. You couldn't stand up in the water. But they took us to like an area where there were sea corals, and like schools of fish. And it was just super pretty. So we can just like do the snorkeling portion. So we just kind of swam, and they kind of took us on a guide. And, it literally, the water was clear. Crystal clear. And so like it looked like everything was so close. And so I'm like putting my hands down as we're swimming, trying to touch the fish and the coils. And it was like, no, it wasn't as close as I thought it was, but it was really beautiful. It was super beautiful. It was tiring, walking, and not walking, but swimming that way. It was super cool. And I'm glad that we went on that excursion. So we went to, they took us back to the island of Caye Caulker, where we were supposed to take a water taxi back to San Pedro. Well, obviously after that, we spent like a half day doing that. So we were all like, kind of tired, but more hungry than anything. So on the island of Caye Caulker, our tour guides recommended that we go to his friend's restaurant to eat. His name is Chef Kareem. Oh my God, y'all. I'm eating a gummy bear, sorry. But so they walked us down to Chef Kareem's restaurant. And they kind of laid the red carpet out for us. They were so, so nice. And so Chef Kareem, like literally, y'all, every single dish of food that we had in Belize was amazing. Everything is fresh. There's not like our resorts did not have like a buffet style eating arrangement. No, everything was fresh. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we went to Chef Kareem and fresh seafood, snappers, lobster tails, whole lobsters, shrimp, kebabs. They were giving us coconut water, like pulling the coconuts, opening them and giving us coconut water. Some of them, they will put some rum. They have a really good rum over there, coconut rum in Belize. Putting some of that in the coconut water is really good. Coconut water is like really refreshing. So the food was amazing. And and jerk chicken too. Yeah. Oh my God. Every single piece of food that we had in Belize was good. Amazing. Amazing. I'm a foodie. I love food. So after that, we kind of wanted to kind of chill on Caye Caulker for a while. Again, they kind of like laid out a red carpet, an imaginary red carpet, but they had like this little area in the playground, and they set us over there. They're like, hang out, chill, let us get you something to drink. We're gonna fix your food and bring it over. It took a little time because everything was fresh. Everything was made fresh, made to order. And so, they brought us our food and napkins. They made sure we were good. They came and they're like, do you need anything else? They were very attentive to us. And it's, we're outside. It wasn't inside of an actual restaurant. Everything was outside. But they made sure we were taken care of. And we met a guy on the island. His name's Pepe. He was kind of helping Chef Kareem, but super nice guy. Oh my God. Because I think on Caye Caulker, they have like these kind of, they say, I guess, fire ants or something. But they bit one of my friends. And so she was like itching and scratching. So he like walked us down to the pharmacy to make sure we can get some Benadryl. Like he stayed with us the whole time. And it wasn't like a safety thing. He just, wanted to make sure we were good. So that was really nice. After that, we kind of just hung out on the beach, talking, laughing, joking, singing. And then me and a friend walked down to the coffee shop. They said, this coffee shop is so famous, and you got to check it out. And it was amazing. Like, I think I had just a butterscotch latte. No, butterscotch frappuccino. I asked for caramel, but they said it's butterscotch or whatever. But whatever it was great. I'm a coffee drinker. I love cold coffees, iced, blended. I love them. So it was amazing. And then they had like these donut holes that were to die for. And my girlfriend, she had a drink, and we just enjoyed our time on Caye Caulker. And then we took the water ferry back over to San Pedro, and we went to our rooms, got freshened up, and then we ate dinner on our resort. In our resort, Mahogany Bay, like, because I'm used to going to islands, right? You're going to the resorts, and sometimes the food is okay, and other times it's just terrible. So I was like, I don't know how this food is going to be, but they did not have any buffets. And so I was like, plus already. And so the restaurant we went to, that was attached to the check-in desk, the reception desk. Oh my God, the food was so good. It was like, I had a beef shark ribs and rice and plantains, and it was, y'all, every dish we had was amazing. So we ate dinner, and we had to be up at 6 a.m. the next day. I'm like, we on vacation, 6 a.m. But I did it. So we went to bed, and we had to get up at 6 a.m. to catch the water ferry back to Belize City to drive to the next excursion. Told y'all that water ferry was an hour and 45 minutes. So, yeah. And I get seasick. Oh no, we didn't catch the water ferry. I'm sorry, y'all. Scratch that. We didn't catch the water ferry to that excursion, but we did have to catch a boat to Belize City. We took a smaller boat that was just us, a private smaller boat. So it wasn't the actual water taxi. It was a smaller boat, but it was still the same. It was still the same amount of time. Like, we thought we were gonna get there faster, but no. I don't know. If I had to choose, I would probably rather be on the water taxi because it's bigger. And so, yeah, we we were in a smaller boat and we still took that hour and 45 minutes to get to Belize City. And then we had to hop in the car and drive even further to the next excursion, which was supposed to be the Mayan ruins, um, and cave tubing and zip lining. But it started raining. So what we ended up doing, instead of going to the ruins first, they took us to the caves to do the tubing and the zip lining, and then they were going to take us to the ruins. For one, we had to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Two, yes, thankfully we had a private boat, but the water was super choppy because it was raining on and off all day. And so, y'all, like literally, this is our boat in the ocean. And it was like, if you've been on any boat, the waves were like really super choppy. And so the boat, it was the way that it was impacting the boat. It felt like I was like horseback riding. That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like. Horseback riding, and the horse is running. Not like the horse just, and walking. The horse is running. And it was just like, so that wasn't that fun. And then, we had to drive to the where we're gonna go tubing. Well, they didn't tell us, they got us all geared up, put the life vest on us, had helmets with the flashlights, and gave us our tubes. They didn't tell us until we were all geared up and ready to go. We had to walk 25 minutes just to go to the excursion. So that was fun. And guess what? It started raining on our head. So yeah. So we're like walking, trying to get to the cave so we can start the excursion. We trekked our 25 minutes in the rain just to do it. And we were like, okay. I had to keep telling myself, like, I am grateful in this moment because 2 years ago, I prayed to be anywhere but my job. And now I am there. I can literally travel when I want to. I am on a beautiful vacation that was paid for by my mentor. I am grateful in this moment. So, we eventually made it, and I'll just say it was definitely worth it, walking 25 minutes to do it. Would I do it again? Yes, it was worth it. And so by the time we got there, we literally set the tubes down in the water and we just went. The tour guide kind of tied the tubes all together, and he like kind of pulled us through the cave. And so it was a very cool experience. Like, I want to say took 30, 45 minutes, could be longer, that we were just like chillaxing and going through the caves and just going through the water and looking at the plants and the greenery and Belize. And so it was really nice. It was worth the walk. And so by the time we finished, we had to go back down, take all that gear off, and then we went they zipped us off to go zip lining. So that wasn't a far walk. But man, it was 6 different points that we can do the zip lining. And so we had to walk up the points, and like, I think by the 3rd or 4th one, we were like at the highest peak that we can be at. And so there was a lot of walking in between. And, it was kind of rickety. It didn't look like the stablest of stuff to be walking up, but, so it was a lot of like walking in between each points. It was 6 different points that we can do the zip lining. And the zip lining was like totally, it was so fun. Like, just the wind hitting you and you just zip lining over water and the trees. Like, so it was really fun. It was beautiful. It was totally worth it. And so after that, after the zip lining, they were like, okay, we're going to take you guys to the ruins now. And all of us were like, we are beat. We're tired. We've been up. We had to get up before 6 a.m. because our the boat ride started. He was meeting us at 6 o'clock in the morning. So we were pretty tired. And so we opted to not go to the ruins. Thankfully, on my first trip to Belize, I did get to go to the ruins and climb up and kind of overlook the island. But everybody was tired. And it was still raining. And I knew, since I had been before, that there would be a lot of walking. And so we just opted to go home. And so that's what we did. Because literally since we've been on the island, we've been traveling the very first day, the second day, excursions and traveling, the third day, excursions and traveling. So we were tired, we were beat. And so we decided to just go back to the resort, and we celebrated my mentor because it ended up being her birthday, one of the days that we were there. So they made reservations at the resort, at the restaurant for her to celebrate her birthday. And so we went back to the resort, got cleaned up, and then we all came together to celebrate her birthday. And it would have been our last day and last full day, because the next day we would have to travel home. And I was like, I didn't rest. I'm on vacation and I didn't rest one day. So thankfully, my mentor, because it was her birthday, she was staying for a week, a whole week. So while we were supposed to be there for 4 days, her mentees and her inner circle, she was staying for a week. Her and her best friend were staying for a week. And one of the young ladies, she was celebrating the anniversary. So she had extended her stay, but she wasn't going to, no one was going to stay at the Mahogany. So me and my roomie, one of my best friends, I was like, hey, do you want to stay? So we called back home, got it cleared through the hubbies, and, we extended our stay 2 more days. Well, we had to move to another hotel. And guys, when I say this place was beautiful, oh my God, let me find it for y'all. Because it's called Alaia. And the Alaia, I think, is the Marriott. That is the Marriott hotel or resort. It's not a hotel. Alaia. Just go. So the name of it is, I'm saying it wrong. Alaia, 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 Belize Autograph Collection, and it is a Marriott Collection hotel. Beautiful. I thought the mahogany was beautiful. Y'all, literally just go on the website and look at the rooms and look at the resort, the grounds. You guys. So my mentor, Tasha, her husband, he travels a lot for work. And so they have, points and so he's really good about picking hotels. And so he had chose this one for her to extend her stay and stay in. And so since we were staying, she asked if he could just book us a room. And oh my God, it was beautiful. It was so beautiful. We had an oceanfront room. And literally just go and look at the rooms. We had a 2-bedroom suite. They have regular studio hotels, and then they have suites and they have villas. The villas are like 3 or 4 bedroom, like townhomes almost with like little small pools. We were in the suite. We were on the second floor, so had 2 separate bedrooms. One was a king bed, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2 full baths, right? And full kitchen, living space and area, and patio, beautiful, facing the ocean. It was beautiful. So let me go back one thing to the island of San Pedro. So it is August, mind you, when we went. On San Pedro at the Mahogany, it is off water. It's not necessarily the ocean, but it's by a body of water. There are a lot of mosquitoes. Like Belize City, we were okay. By the time we like got stepped our foot on the island of San Pedro, the mosquitoes were terrible, 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 biting you everywhere. So we were putting on bug spray and off, and literally any little inch on you that didn't have bug spray, they would bite you. Like I got bit on my lip, my mentor got bit on my eye. It was terrible. The mosquitoes were terrible. I had to say that. By the time we got to the new hotel, at Alaia, I'm going to get this right, Alaia, it was like the mosquitoes just disappeared until night. All day, you're fine. No issues. Like it was the mosquitoes. I don't know, like if they were asleep. I don't know what the hell. But they didn't come out and bite until the nighttime. It was really weird. But what someone told us that goes to Belize all the time, she actually has property there, is that you have to go during the summer, the mosquitoes are bad. But you have to go like January, February. And she was like, the mosquitoes, they'll be non-existent then. Because they were terrible. Terrible. So that is like one of the only cons that I can come up with, that water taxi and the mosquitoes. And let me just say, by the time we got to this resort, we did not leave except for one time to go get food, to eat at a local restaurant that one of the workers suggested we go to. And that time we went to that restaurant. It was like a mom and pop restaurant. The mosquitoes were terrible. We ate outside again. And literally, like, you can almost not enjoy your food because the mosquitoes were just having a feast on you. And so after that, we kind of walked back to our hotel, but we stopped in a grocery store and a pharmacy, just to, see things. And so that was nice. But we didn't have to, or didn't want to leave the resort. It was so beautiful. Like just the views was beautiful. We're staying in the oceanfront, suite. And then they have like this rooftop pool where it has beautiful views of the ocean on both sides. It was beautiful. Infinity pool up there, a bar, amazing food, top-notch service. Like we didn't want to leave the resort. So we just really had time to really just relax and reset and just refill, because being a business owner can be very stressful and challenging. And you leave your 9 to 5 and you get a 9 to 9 or a 6 to 2 a.m. job, right? Like with your business, you're just always going, because you're doing something that you love. And sometimes you don't realize how beat down you are. So we just really had 2 days just to kind of just relax. So that was very refreshing. It was exactly what I needed. I felt so refreshed and I gained so much clarity. I don't know if you just ever feel like so much is going on, you can't even think straight. I just literally had the opportunity those 2 days just to to not have to think about work. I, delegated whatever I needed to be done that was pertinent and that was a emergent. But other than that, I just relaxed. I refilled my cup and I just felt wonderful, and this great sense of clarity by the time I was going home. And like these things that were so perplexing and puzzling to me, like was just so clear. Like I was literally just rattling stuff off to my friend and she was like, oh, I like this refreshed you. So I can say like literally I felt so refreshed. And I said the first time I went to Belize, I'm going to say it again. I am retiring in Belize. I am already retired, but I am buying property and I am moving to Belize. Like I am taking my my hubby and my children, and I am going to be on one of those islands in Belize. Figure out which one, and I'll let y'all know. But I love Belize, and again, in that at their resort, the food. I think one of the last meals we had. No, so the night before we were leaving, there's a restaurant, the Dock, fresh whole lobsters, potatoes, asparagus, like fresh, amazing food. And oh my God, literally, I think that whole lobster was like $20 in American dollars. So that's another thing. The dollar, the conversion rate, our dollar is worth two Belizean dollars. So very easy to understand. For the most part, I had carried a little cash. I kept a lot of American dollars. So if you like hand them a 20, they are going to give you your change in Belize dollars. So you got to kind of sit there and like think about it and convert it in your mind real quick. But it's not a hard conversion. For the most part, they're not going to give you any US dollars when you trying to break change. So I took a lot of $1 single dollar bills and credit cards. I did not take my credit cards out, my debit cards out and use them at all. I really don't like to use them because, if anything were to happen, they can just swipe your bank out, versus just using a credit card. It's not your bank. It's not, essentially not your money. So I used some credit cards while I was there. And for the most part, everybody kind of took the credit cards except for like the mom and pop restaurant. They only took cash. So cash or a wire. It was so funny. And they're like super trusting because we were like, oh, we don't know if we have enough cash. He was like, well, no problem. You can go back to your room and, just bring us the cash. Like they're, very trusting, like super laid back, super chill people. They weren't like, oh my God. We ended up having enough cash to pay for it, but we didn't realize that they only took cash. So when we walked over there, everybody didn't bring all the cash money that they had because we were kind of traveling off of the resort. While on the resort, one of the days we were there, we did get a massage, and the massage was wonderful. It was amazing, like amazing. Angel hands. So that was amazing. On the resort, they charged us like normal American dollars for the massage. I want to say it was like 125 or something like that. Versus one of my mentors, she went off of the resort and she went to a local massage parlor, and she was able to get a massage, manicure, and pedicure. And she said, I think 10 minutes of reflexology for like $65. So like $65, she got all of that done. So yeah, but I'm trying to think, am I missing anything as it pertains to Belize, traveling to Belize? So needless to say, when we were leaving to catch our flight home, we did catch the small little plane. that takes 14 minutes versus taking a water taxi back to Belize City to go to the airport. We went through Tropic Air, and we got on the smaller plane, and it took us literally 14 minutes to get to the island of Belize City. And once we got to the airport, I was just thinking like it's going to be these long lines again. Because when we initially arrived on our arrival day, to get through customs was a super long line, and maybe it took over an hour to get through the customs line. So I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna be in here forever in a day. But surprisingly, it was like empty. We literally walked right up to the Southwest counter and checked in, and got our boarding passes and checked our luggage, and we just walked. We had a lot of free time to wait in the airport because they ended up delaying our flight because of weather. So we were delayed about 2 hours or so when it was time to go home. And home meaning Houston and then to Baltimore. And I just think because of weather and whatever else was going on, we were delayed everywhere. So by the time we got to Houston, it was another delay by the time. And so when we finally made it to the DMV area, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and we had been up since 10 a.m., 9:30, traveling to get to Belize City, to get on the plane, to go home. So we didn't make it home until well after 1 o'clock once we got to the DMV. Another thing, when we arrived in Houston, they make you go through customs. And so there's an app that you can literally download on your phone, MPC. I think it's Mobile Passport Control is the name of the app. M is in Mary, P is in Paul, C is in Charlie, MPC. Mobile Passport Control, and you literally download it. Houston accepts it, and so instead of waiting in that long customs line, we were able to just download that app, put in our information. Literally took us less than 5 minutes. So we sped through that. Like there's a separate line that you just walk right up, and you can be done. And for whatever reason, I got chosen to have my bag searched. So just literally delay after delay. So after we got off the plane from Belize, we had to go through customs. I had to get my special bag search, had to wait on my bag, and then got it searched. And that agent was super mean and nasty. If you've never been through that, if they just do like a random search on your stuff, he asked me where I was traveling from, my name, and where I worked. And so I was like, oh, I'm self-employed. Okay, what do you do? Like they want like an official title of what it is that you do. So just so you know, if you get lucky enough to have to go through that, he gave me a lot of attitude. And so finally got my bag, had to check my bag back in, and we had to go back through the security checkpoint at Houston. And I always travel with Clear because I don't have the pre-TSA, the pre-check yet. So I utilize Clear. They're at most major airports, except for Philadelphia. That's another story for another day. So was able to use Clear and kind of jump the line and, get through that screening process a little quicker. And like, went through all of that. And like, mind you, we were delayed in Belize. So our layover time was we were pushing it. So finally got through the checkpoint and literally went up to the gate, and I'm looking around and I'm like, nobody is like getting up to get on the plane. And so I'm looking, I'm like, where is this? Where are we going? Because I'm looking on the app, on the Southwest app, trying to see if they changed the gate, and it's not saying it. And I'm like, this is the gate that is on my ticket. And so I'm looking, and so as I'm walking up to the agent, I asked them, I was like, where are you guys going? And I think they're going to like Las Vegas. And I'm like, where is my gate? And finally, they updated in the Southwest app. And so I had to run across Houston Lobby to the new gate. Phone is dying. Had to get like this mobile like a battery pack for my phone because it was dying, and I got separated from my best friend because I had to get my bag searched and she didn't. Finally got on the plane, made it all the way home. And because we made it in so late, I guess they were short staffed. And so literally there was nobody to get our bags off the plane. So after all of that, I was like, I am tired. I will come back in the morning and get my bags. And so that is what I did. And obviously, a lot of people made that decision because the next morning I came, there was bags everywhere. Their office and storage room was full. The office had bags inside of it. They had the outside. It was just bags all in the hallway. So I was like, I was not the only one that was like fed up and left because there were hundreds of bags. So that was it, y'all. That is my travel experience to Belize. I'll make maybe I'll make like a Google Doc or something with like all the excursions and the tour guides that we use and like the links to the hotels in case you want to go to those. The first time that I stayed, I did stay in an Airbnb it was on the same island on San Pedro, an oceanfront condo. So very, very nice. But I will say I am an Airbnb girl, obviously. But I totally enjoy the resorts, like just having the food like right there, like you can just, a good little walk and you can go and enjoy some good food. I loved our resorts. So I don't know, might be, trying out some more resorts as I travel. But I'll put something together for people that are wanting to travel to Belize because, yeah, if you've never been, it is a different experience. You got to know like which island you're on and how to get to that island because it is not just a drive. And do not stay on Belize City. That is just not coming from me, the American girl. Like the people in Belize will also tell you the same thing. You don't want to stay over in Belize City. You don't want to get caught slipping over there. So definitely stay on one of the other islands, San Pedro or Caye Caulker. San Pedro also has another name, and I'm not even going to try to mess it up. It begins with an A. Let me see if I can look it up. And ambergris, ambergris. I know I'm messing it up, but San Pedro it's the same place. So if you're traveling and you see the A one, it's pretty much San Pedro. All right, y'all. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you know anybody that wants to get into the short-term rental industry or Airbnb or just want information about just starting a business in general, being a retired nurse, make sure you send them my page. Tell them to subscribe, like, comment. I am active in there answering questions for you guys. So see you next week.